Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Programming Peanut. I wanted to make a new video series in where I tell some of my old funny stories while playing old school video games. All right, so this is episode one, and here I'm going to tell you the video game store story. All right, so hopefully you all enjoy it. Okay, so this story starts like way back in like 2004, 2005, and it was in the middle of summer. Okay, and my friend Joseph had just gotten a Super Nintendo from his stepdad that I think he got from like a thrift store or something. And the Super Nintendo was just so dirty and grimy and it was in really, really bad shape. So we cleaned it up, but we didn't have any Super Nintendo games to test it out. So what we did is we walked like over an hour to this store called Game Crazy. Okay. And Game Crazy was a competitor to GameStop. And it was a really nice store actually. They had an arcade machine and they would host tournaments and they had a large selection of games, new and old. It was a cool store. I kind of miss Game Crazy. So anyway, we make our way there, right, in the scorching heat because it was really really hot that summer. I do remember that. And so we make our way there and we start looking at the Super Nintendo games. And we notice that they had Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo. So, we tell the employee, we're like, hey, we want to buy the Mortal Kombat game for the Super Nintendo. And he looks at us and he's like, I need to see some ID. And so we're like, oh, we don't have an ID. He's like, I can't sell you this game unless you're 18 years or older. And we're like, why? This is the censored version of Mortal Kombat. And I know it sounds like we're making this up, but I don't know if most of you guys know, but there was two versions of Mortal Kombat at the time, okay? When it first came out, there was the Super Nintendo version, which was censored, didn't have any of the violence or anything. And there was the Sega Genesis version, which had all the violence of the original game. And I guess the guy didn't know this. And, we tried explaining it to him. We were like, this is the censored version of the game. This isn't violent. And I remember him saying this. I remember him saying, he was like, oh, you think I'm stupid? You think I don't know what a Mortal Kombat game is? And we were like, no, we're not calling you stupid. We're just trying to buy a game, man. That's all. And he just started getting like really aggravated. And I mean, he just had like, he was in a bad mood from the very beginning, you know? I don't know if it was like the summer heat or what, but the guy was just like not in a good mood. So then my friend Joseph looks to his side, starts talking to this other customer, and he's like, hey, Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo? You know how it's not violent and that it's censored? Can you explain all of this to him, please? And I don't know why, but the store employee just got even angrier. He just got super mad and he started pointing at the door and he was like, all right, the two of you get the F out of the store. Get the F out. Stop wasting my effing time. And we were just shocked. We were like, what? Why is this guy getting so mad? We just want to buy a game. And we were explaining to him that, this was the censored version of Mortal Kombat. I know it sounds like BS, but really, I'm telling you, there's two versions of the game. And this version was censored. It didn't have any violence, It was just as violent as like the Street Fighter games, and they would have sold us the Street Fighter games, you know. So anyway, he starts yelling and he's like, "Get out! Get the f out!" This and that. So we took our $10 and we went to the Taco Bell right next door, and we just ate Taco Bell, And so I guess it wasn't all that bad. But there's a little bit more to the story, okay? So fast forward 2 years later, okay? So it's holiday season 2006, okay? and the Wii had just come out. And so a lot of the stores had the Wii kiosks. You guys remember those? The Wii kiosks where you can test out the Wii console and all that. So my friend Joseph and I, we were at an EB Games this time. Okay, so there was three big stores back in the day. It was GameStop, Game Crazy, and EB Games. Okay, those were the three main ones. So we went to EB Games and um, we were playing the Wii on one of these kiosks, and we were creating a me. Okay, and I don't know if you guys know this trick, but there's a trick where if you rotate the eyebrows like a certain way and you make the nose really big, that it sort of looks like a penis. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but this was like a this was like a trick that that people were talking about, and it's funny because like the gaming console, the Wii, had just come out like a month before, and people are already like making penis penises on the me characters. So we were, like I said, we were like 13 or 14 years old, and we just couldn't stop laughing. So we started making this me character, and we called him Dick Man. And we just started laughing so hard. And all of a sudden, the store employee there comes up to us, and he looks at us, and then he looks at the screen, and he notices Dick Man on there, and he's like, "What the f are you doing? What the fuck? What? Get the store, get the fuck." And we were like, "What the heck?" And you wouldn't believe that it was the same guy who had kicked us out from Game Crazy 2 years before. The same guy. And so and so every time I tell the story, I just remember us like laughing so hard. And man, like what are the chances of getting kicked out of two video game stores by the same guy? Oh man, that was just too funny. So like every time I talk about this story with my friend Joseph, we always remember that, and we're just we're just like, man, that is too funny. So, so yeah, he kicked us out of the store, and yeah, it just made for a funny story. And we just thought it was so funny because it's the same guy, and we created the me character Dick Man, and that was just to me it was hilarious. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that story. Um, so yeah, I'll try to tell some other goofy stories that I have. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that story. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks.